Hello and welcome to today's video. One of my favorite brands that I've had the absolute pleasure of working with to present these reviews for you is Octopus Fluids. This is Octopus Fluids Barock ink Caviar, which was my 2024 ink of the year. I love this ink. It's a lovely sort of warm purple grey colour. Love the performance, love how it looks on the page. And this is part of the 1910 Barock series. Now, Barock is a name taken from a now defunct ink company that was also based in Dresden, as is Octopus Fluids, in Germany. And so Octopus Fluids have taken up the name with a new series of inks. Well, this is the 1910 series, and they've since released the 1920s series. They're beautiful traditional sort of inks. I love the Octopus Fluids inks. I think they perform really, really well. And they come in a nice sort of 30 ml bottle, glass bottle, very, very good. So they were gracious enough to send me out the 6 new colors of the Barock 1920 line, as well as 6 from their standard line. I've reviewed a number of their standard inks before, moss green and aubergine being 2 of my favorite inks across the board. So lots of great inks here to look at. I've written up with them on a couple of different kinds of paper. So let's get started. So these are the color swatch cards from Wearing All. The sheets, they hold 10 inks, and I just continued on at the bottom after a previous video. So the 6 inks in this new Barock series, the 1920s Barock series, are Charleston. Then we get Erica, Mint, Cobalt, Sepia, and Coral. 6 really distinct colors, sort of going for a slightly more modern look than the more darker colors from the original set. Charleston is a beautiful sort of caramel brown with like these multi-chromery sort of green hints and everything to it. It's really beautiful. Erica, a rich sort of dark magenta pink. Mint, a beautiful vibrant sort of almost sort of petrol-y kind of green. Cobalt is bang on cobalt blue. This is, I don't know, with an R, it should be cobalt, but it is absolutely stunning, rich, vibrant, more vibrant than royal blue. Sepia is, as you would expect, a nice warm brown, and then Coral is a really interesting sort of pinky orange sort of color. They come up beautifully on these Wearing All cards, and they look absolutely fantastic. Let's now look at them on Rhodia. So here is my Rhodia little write-up of the 6 inks from the Barock 1920 ink series from Octopus Fluids. Once again, Charleston, really rich and interesting color. These multi-chromas are just fantastic. Lowish water resistance, a sort of a yellow grey left behind. That's okay. Erica, as I said, a rich pink magenta. Once again, low water resistance, a bit of grey left behind, but a really warm sort of pink color. Mint is fantastic. By the way, I'm just giving the English names instead of saying like the German names like Minze and things like that. Like, it's just easier in English, of course. All of these have a similar kind of water resistance in terms of there's like a grey version of the ink color left behind, but not a whole lot, except for Cobalt, which sort of is so highly saturated that once you get it wet, it reconstitutes and sort of goes everywhere again. But I love this green of Mint. It's a sort of a warm minty green, as I said, almost like a petrol-y kind of color. Cobalt just bangs you in the face with blue, and that is absolutely great. I really like sepia colored inks. I like them because as a musician, when I look at manuscripts of handwriting from centuries past, like handwritten manuscript scores, they have this sort of sepia kind of look about the ink color. I think it's walnut sort of colory, which I really enjoy. And then, as I said, Coral, they're pinky orange, very dark orange, pinky sort of color, but really beautiful. It's a very dark version of Coral, if you will. And then I have them here on 52 GSM good old stock Tomel River paper. This is where the inks become really interesting because they all kind of become multi-chroma. So the greens left behind in Charleston, the sort of like the bluey purple in Erica, sort of this warmer petrol browny sort of green of Mint. Cobalt is still just cobalt with a beautiful vibrant red sheen. Sepia gets these darker grey browns, and then coral there just really amplifies that sort of dark warmth, and once again the lighter shading showing off some more of that sort of pinky undertone in the orange. These are really beautiful, interesting inks. I will be reviewing a couple of these particular ones in future months. I have a lot of inks to look at, so you know, they'll come in time, but just I will be reviewing, I think, Charleston and Cobalt for sure. So these are the new Barock inks. I think they are absolutely stunning. You know, the performance is pretty good. Like, we're putting swatches down, so a lot's going to come through there on the Tomo River, but they're beautiful colors. They're just warm, vibrant colors that perform really, really well. Octopus Fluids inks do tend to run on the wetter side, so you do get sort of a slightly more aggressive performance, but if you're using fountain pen friendly paper like Tomo River or Rhodia or Grapholo or Ireful or something like that, you are going to get pretty good performance, I think. And as I said, they also sent me some of the standard inks. I reviewed a few of these. These are like the classic fountain pen inks. This is a Caribbean blue, but it's just, once again, simple packaging, nice glass bottle, and really interesting inks. So here we have them once again on the Wearing All Color swatch cards. So Pine here is a lovely dark brown. Used to Pine being a green color, but they've gone more for like the wood color of Pine, which is really nice. Caramel is the richest honey brown color, which is just fantastic. Bronze is a bronzy brown, really nice, sort of different to something like caramel or even pine. It shows such a wide variety of these beautiful browns. And then when you put that alongside something like Charleston here, you get a real sort of variation in what actually a company can produce when you say, give me a brown. Then we get Orchid, which is one of the most vibrant pink orchid colored inks I've seen in a long time. I really enjoy that. Caribbean there, as you would expect, a bright, vibrant water blue. Purple is a purple with beautiful gold sheen, and that is a fantastic purple. I've got it. I actually did little writing samples here with moss green and aubergine, and you can see aubergine is one of my favorite purple inks. Purple has like almost like a magenta undertone. It's in a way, I suppose it's similar to something like the Diplomat purple. In fact, I just had to bring up my swatch card here of Diplomat purple, which is made by Octopus Fluids, and you can see they are a very, very similar magenta based purple. And that is the 6 from that I was sent here. As I said, I've done a writing sample with moss green and aubergine to put it into context, and also they sent me one of the fountain fader ink collaborations. They did the exclusive, which is Grünkohl, which is kale, and that's a really nice sort of earthier green. So that's them on the Wearing All card. Let's now look at them on this Rhodia page. And here they are. Once again, the similar sort of thing goes with the water resistance here. They are water resistant. Some of them are water resistant to a point. You know, if you got onto them quickly, you could save your writing. Some, like Caribbean, less so. But some of the more saturated ones tend to sort of just spread the color around a little bit more. Nothing sheens particularly heavy here, although we get some gloss on pine and on caramel. But these classic fountain pen inks from Octopus Fluids tend to be really sort of standard inks. They have a high sheening series, and they have, you know, inks with interesting neon properties and all of that kind of stuff. This classic series is really like your classic fountain pen ink colors. Although I will say, one that I would love to see from them is a really true blue-black. Blue-black is my favorite ink color. Something I would love to see. But once again, we get a beautiful brown in pine, lovely rich honey caramel color for caramel. Bronze is really nice. It's a little browner than a lot of the bronze. It's like a bronze after patina, if you will. Beautiful pink for orchid, vibrant, rich, lots of shading, and a great page contrast, which you don't always find in sort of lighter colors like pinks and yellows. So it's nice to see one that even in the lighter shading is still super visible. Caribbean is great. So this is a really sort of turquoisey light blue, like a diamine marine or something like that. It's got great vibrancy. It's got some heavy shading and even hits of sheen on the right paper. So one to keep an eye out. If this is a color family you like, this is a really nice one. And then, as I said, purple there, highly saturated ink, rich and dark, lots of sheen, and you know, on the magenta end of purple. And then lastly here on Tomol River, this is where we really see that gloss on pine and caramel, and we see the beautiful shading. Like, look at Caribbean there. Like, the way that it shades from that sort of rich, sort of a grey turquoisey, not grey turquoise, like sort of a tealy turquoise through to the lighter blue. Absolutely beautiful. Purple looks great here. Orchid the same. Once again, that page contrast on Orchid is wonderful, and bronze is looking fabulous with some great shading. These inks shade really well. As I said, Octopus Fluids inks, they tend to run a little bit on the wetter side. So you do need to use them on fountain pen friendly paper. But when you do, they are astounding. So this is a really interesting little set. As I said, there are a number of inks here I will be reviewing in due time. But a big thank you to Octopus Fluids for sending out these inks for me to show you and to share with you, my audience, and show you some of the inks that are around that are really interesting, and particularly this new Barock series, which I think is fantastic. So thank you to you for watching. I hope you found it interesting and useful. Please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button, all that kind of stuff. If you've got products you think I should be looking at, or if there's a way you would like to support the channel, I would really love to hear from you. In the meantime, enjoy your inks, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.